the best exercises for arthritis that you can do from home. What's going on, everyone? My name is Levine. I'm a personal trainer with inflammatory arthritis since my early 20s. So my job has been to come up with as many ways to exercise, ways to modify exercise so we can meet people where they're at and really build over time. And that's what I really did in my early 20s. So today, my favorite exercises for arthritis that you can do from home that have been kind of a staple of my program to loosen up, support good posture with the strength element also, so we can remain stable and really support the joints, get the muscles activated so we can really protect the body. So I'm going to show a couple different things today, using a wall space, using a chair, and using some ground space, so we can really find the best positions for folks to really get started and progress it over time. So the first thing is going to be, walking is an incredible tool for everyone, but with arthritis, unfortunately, some folks can have knee pain, low back pain after a little while walking. Maybe the core is not activated enough. So I like to think about different ways to get moving first. So backwards walking is a great tool to bring some blood flow to the back of the legs, the hamstrings, the glutes, a little more core with the backwards walking, but we can protect the low back a little bit, we can protect the knees. So if you're having trouble walking, move backwards a little bit. Take a little pressure off the knees, nice upright posture. Great blood flow to the back of those legs that can really support the whole body. And you can do both, forwards, backwards, but if just forwards is causing pain, switch it up a little bit, utilize backwards walking, and then over time, the forwards walking might feel a little better, so you can work both directions together, or if regular walking and moving is really not feeling good, just move backwards. You can just start by going backwards. Also, if it's too hard balance-wise, use a wall at first. Couple steps, change directions. That way we can focus on those correct muscles working. You're keeping the core tight, glutes, abs squeezed. So find that starting point for you. Another thing I love to do is get moving laterally to really get the glutes activated. So at first I would keep the feet on the ground and do a side step. So I'm touching both feet down. I can even drag if you have a carpet. And over time, once this feels a little easier, you're working up 20, 30 seconds, a minute, wherever you're at right now to get the heart rate elevated a little bit. And over time, you can bring this foot off the ground. So you can drag it, come off the ground, core tight. And this way we can utilize those lateral muscles, those glutes, the side of the hips, which can be very beneficial for arthritis to protect that low back. And then to keep progressing it over time, we can go for longer holds. And maybe we don't drag that foot anymore. We go right into the balance side to side. Then maybe we work these holds 5, 10 seconds, really thinking about drilling the foot in. Nice upright posture. So find the spot you're at right now where it feels pretty good. You're challenging the body, but we're also trying to, at first, just loosen up and feel better. And then we can slowly progress so you're at the right spot for you. And again, we're not aggravating the joints. Again, that support system's great for this too. If you want to work on that balance, you can hold onto a wall and really focus on drilling that foot into the ground, get the hip, utilize the glute, the core, and you can work on using the wall, and then over time, you can let go less and less to work on that balance. You have that wall for support if you really need it, if you're worried about the balance. So find that best spot for you, lateral, backwards walking, you can put it all together. Keep track of it for yourself. Keep track, how long am I gonna do this? How did that feel? Was it too much? Do I have to lessen the duration a little bit? Keep track of everything so you can slowly progress over time and keep building it up. So number 2, one of my favorite things is utilizing the wall. For one, the posture. So I can get a small bend in the knees, hips are gonna come back. My feet are about 6 to 8 inches away from the wall. You can kind of find the best position for you. Farther out, you might be able to get that back in a little better, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get the low back, mid back, all the way up. So we can first work the posture, shoulder blades squeezed together. You can kind of feel out what it feels to be nice and upright with this. You can feel, how do I get that low back in? We want the low back in to really utilize the core. Belly button squeezed in towards the wall, so the abs are squeezed. I like to squeeze the glutes here a little bit to find that base where my trunk, everything's involved here, everything's activated. I can get my shoulder blades squeezed together, and then the head too, you can see where your head's at. So first is just working on this postural hold. Couple seconds, and then you come off the wall. So we really want that nice tight core, A little arch in the low back is okay, but I like to try to tuck that low back so you can really utilize, as if you're doing a bridge, squeezing the abs in, belly button squeezing towards the wall, glute squeeze. First work on this hold, just see where the posture is at, and then you can work on a little movement. So drilled in, I like to go overhead, but keeping my back as close to the wall as comfortable. So it's a bit of a core exercise too, but now we're breaking up all these muscles through the back, through the spine, working on that overhead mobility. So find that right range where you don't want to force it, where you're coming off the wall, you're arching. You really want to stay glued in. You can start with the best range for 10 repetitions. Maybe it opens up a little bit. This can be challenging by 8, 9, 10, but we don't want it too challenging where we can't do another repetition. You know, with arthritis, going to fatigue, you know, we don't want to go to ultimate fatigue just because we want to stay a little looser. Over time, you can fatigue the muscles a little more, but in the beginning, work on this comfortable range of motion. So, a great exercise, utilizing the wall first for the posture, then we're getting some movement out of it to really work the whole body. We're working the whole body, but we're in a nice upright posture, and we're starting to feel out, how do we get the core going? How do we get that overhead mobility, but keeping a flat back with the core tight? So my last thing today, utilizing a chair. So squats can be a very challenging move, obviously, for arthritis. If you're dealing with trouble in the knees, it can be very hard to squat, tightness in the hips. So I like to build this first using a base, so maybe using a chair for support. So you can really focus on nice upright posture. This chair is a little low, you might want to start a little higher, but as you can see, my back's nice and flat. I'm focused on the core, the glutes, and I can reset each time. You can also use the chair for support. And you can really focus on the feet, on the knees being straight. We don't want the knees caving in. Core's tight, posture's nice and upright. So you can always start with a higher chair and reset in the body. But if that's too much, again, that support system, using the wall, and you can work on that nice form. Belly button squeezed in, glute squeezed, and I'm thinking about sitting back into the chair. And then you can kind of feel out that form. Low back is nice and flat. We don't want to arch through here. We don't want to round forward. So this is a great way to work on these muscles, but then to work on the quads, protect the knees a little bit, and then over time, you're letting go of the wall, you're not using the support, you can feel that range of motion increase over time. But most importantly overall is we're working the right muscles, the core is engaged, we're using that support system to really feel it out. So, 3 things today. The backwards walking, the lateral walking, the wall, getting those arms moving overhead, getting some great motion, that chair for great strength, great quad strength, the squats. So 3 kind of modified exercises, but things you can work up over time and keep increasing it over time. Let me know if you like this content, this arthritis content. Again, I have inflammatory arthritis, so I've been doing variations of different things over the years that feel good for me and really working it up over time to where I'm at today. So let me know if you thought of that content. We'll see you next time.